Yes. Let us come to the second mode of heat transfer. The first concept we discussed that conduction, and under conduction concept we discussed so many concepts here. Let us come to the second part here, that is called convection. Convection. Now this is the process of transfer of heat energy from one place to another place with the bodily movement of the particles. With the bodily movement of the particles. Normally, this type of transfer of heat energy takes place or possible only in liquids. Okay? Here there is a transfer of heat energy with the bodily movement of the particles. Okay? The process of transfer of heat energy takes place between 2 points with the actual movement of the particles. Actual movement of the particles. Here particle itself carries this heat energy from one place to another place. The process is called as a convection. Okay? There are two different situations here, or types of convections. One is natural convection. Natural convection. Second one is forced convection. So these are the two types of convections: natural convections and forced convections. Okay, let us see that what is natural convections and what is forced convections. Okay, now natural convections. So in order to explain this, let us consider water taken in a beaker. Any fluid you can consider here. Any fluid. Take a fluid in a beaker and apply some heat energy. Apply some heat energy by means of a flame. Okay. Apply some heat energy by means of a flame. After some time we can see that the water molecules at the lower part of this particular beaker, at the bottom of the beaker, that is getting heated up. Once the water molecules getting heated up, its density decreases because of expansion. As density decreases, all such water molecules will raises up. Whereas water molecules at the upper part of the beaker, that is of higher density, that will be replaced. That means then it goes down. Okay. So that means this process will take place as temperature increases. Water molecules at the bottom of the beaker expands, decreases its density or loses its density. Due to low density, it will be raises up. Whereas the water molecules at the upper layer will goes down. This process of movement of molecules will take place. While the molecules will moving from bottom of the beaker to top of the beaker, it carries the energy. The process is called as a natural convection. This is called as a natural convection. Okay. So some of the examples for these natural convections in atmosphere or in nature, say sea breeze. Sea breeze or land breeze or wind trade. These are the phenomena that is taking place in the atmosphere: sea breeze, land breeze and wind trade. These are the best examples for this particular natural convections. So what is the sea breeze? Sea breeze. Sea breeze and land breeze. Now we know that in the daytime, during the daytime, the sunlight falls on the land, okay, falls on the land, as well as nearby that if we have a sea or sea water, okay. Sunlight falls on land as well as sea water. We can observe one of the phenomena here. Due to high specific heat, the sea water will take larger time to heat. It will take larger time to heat. But due to low specific heat of land, it will be immediately heats up. So we can observe at the lower surface, that is on the land surface here, the air molecules in contact with this particular land, that will be heated up immediately. The air particles in contact with this particular land, that will be heated up immediately during the daytime. As a result, these air molecules expands, so it also loses its density, that will be raises up. The air molecules will raises up. So as a result, air molecules will raises up. It goes up. So here, whatever this region of the atmosphere becomes more heat during the daytime. The phenomenon is called as sea breeze here. Okay, phenomenon is called sea breeze. By that time, the sea water that will be at lower temperature because it has high specific heat, whereas the air molecules very close to the surface of the land, that is of higher temperature. On the other hand, if we go for land breeze, where the sunlight, of course this phenomenon takes place during the night, okay. Land breeze will take place during the night. That means we know that due to the specific heat, as we studied in the earlier class, that water takes larger time to heat as well as larger time to cool due to its high specific heat. So now during the daytime, the sunlight falls on the sea water, it takes larger time to heat, but during the night it takes larger time to cool also. But if you go for land here, this land will cools immediately during night. As a result, what happened? The air molecules nearer to this, that means nearer to the sea water, that is of higher temperature as compared to that of the land. The phenomenon is exactly opposite to that of sea breeze. So this is called as land breeze here. Okay, land breeze takes place night, whereas sea breeze takes place during the daytime. Another one is the wind trade. This is another phenomenon here in the atmosphere, that we know that the light that is coming from the sun falls on the polar region as well as equatorial region. So polar region is always somewhat cool, isn't it? Whereas equatorial region is always high temperature. You can see that whatever the sun radiations that is falls on the equatorial region, these radiations will warm up the air molecules very close to the equatorial line. Now this warmer air molecules decreases its density and it will be raises up. And you can also observe by the same time one more phenomenon. There is a rotation of the earth in its own axis. Due to the rotation of the earth, these wind molecules nearer to the equatorial line, they acquire a speed of about 1600 km per hour. Whereas wind at the polar region has no velocity, whereas wind at the equatorial region requires a speed of 1600 km per hour. Due to this speed, whatever the wind molecule it will be raises up, that will be descends back with somewhat angle of nearly 30-degree latitude. So it will become back to the latitude place only, so that the phenomenon is called as wind trade. So these are the examples for this particular natural convection: sea breeze, land breeze, and wind trade. Okay. And another phenomenon is a forced convection. Forced convection. So this is actually the transfer of heat energy from one place to another place. Once again, forced convection in the sense here where we have to use an external source to transfer or to take this particular heat energy from one region to another region. Where an external pump is required. The external pump is required to carry the energy from one place to another place. It may be from a region of hotter region to colder region or colder region to hotter region. We need a external agent here or a pump. The best example is the circulatory system in our body. Circulatory system where heart is act as a pump that will be pumps blood throughout the body. Okay? So where the molecules will carry the energy from one point to another point. Or here we are talking about heat energy. The particle will carry the heat energy from one place to another place with the help of some external aid, that is a pump, is called as forced convection. Yes, let us come to the third mode of transfer of heat energy, that is called radiation. We discussed about conduction, convection and radiation. Third one is the radiation. Now actually this is the process of transfer of heat energy from one place to another place without the aid of intervening medium. So you have to transfer heat energy from one place to another place. Under this mode, the medium is not required. As we know that the heat energy, that is the infrared radiation that is coming from the sun's atmosphere to the earth atmosphere, even though there is a vacuum between sun's atmosphere and earth atmosphere, these radiations can propagate through. So if we are feeling here heat energy, that is because of infrared radiation that is coming from the sun's atmosphere. So here the medium is not required to transfer heat energy from one place to another place in this particular mode or in radiation. Okay. Now what the energy transmitted, that is called as radiant energy. This is actually heat energy transferred by the radiation. Say electromagnetic radiation, we have infrared radiations that will carry the heat energy from sun's atmosphere to earth atmosphere. The process is, or the energy got transferred by this radiation is called as radiant energy. Okay. And the concept of thermal radiation. Thermal radiation is actually the electromagnetic radiation emitted by a body by the virtue of its temperature. Say almost all bodies, due to its temperature, that will be emitting these type of radiations. Thermal radiations. Even our body also, that is emitting a small amount of thermal radiation because of temperature. Okay. Now there is some properties of this thermal radiation. Properties of thermal radiation. Properties of thermal radiation. One of the basic sources to emit this thermal radiation, the example natural source is the sun. Okay. Now the radiation emitted by the sun has a special property here, thermal radiation. So they can travel straight line with a speed of 3 into 10 to the power 8. Okay. They can travel straight with a speed of 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And we know that these radiations will travel from sun's atmosphere to earth atmosphere without any intervening medium. That means medium is not required for the propagation. Okay, they can travel in vacuum also. They can travel in vacuum also. That means medium is not required for such type of propagation. Okay, and these radiations, they can show the property of reflection, refraction, interference, diffraction, polarization. All such property will be there in such type of radiations. Okay, they shows the property of reflection. Reflection means when light radiation incident on one medium, it is reflected back into the same. Reflection, refraction. Refraction is actually when light radiation or thermal radiation falls on one medium, then it is propagating to the other medium also. Okay, by changing the direction. Okay, bending of light will take place. Okay, that refraction, interference. Interference in the sense where there is a modification of intensity of light radiation takes place. Okay, that is because of superposition. Interference, diffraction. Diffraction stands for here the bending of these radiation at the edges of the obstacle. When the light propagating in a single medium itself, if it falls on the edges of any obstacle, it bends. Okay, that is called diffraction. Polarization. Polarization. So this is actually normally in all electromagnetic radiation, including this thermal radiation, it has two vibrations, electric and magnetic vibration. We can restrict one vibration. That phenomenon is called as polarization. Okay, polarization, etc. Diffraction and polarization. Okay, so this is a basic, and we can see that these thermal radiations are transverse in nature. They are transverse in nature. They are transverse in nature. Transverse stands here. I said these radiations has two vibrations, electric and magnetic vibrations, and these two vibrations are always perpendicular to each other, and they are also perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Such type of vibrations are called as transverse in nature. Okay, and they propagate through a medium. So when these radiations propagating through the medium, they will not affect the medium. Okay, they will not affect the medium. Will not affect the medium through which it propagates. Through which it propagates. Okay, through which it propagates. Okay. So this is some of the basic properties of this particular thermal radiation. Of course, we can collect few more properties also, but these properties same for all electromagnetic radiations. Okay. So you can consider X-rays, gamma rays, ultraviolet, visible, infrared, microwaves. For all radiations, these properties will be the same. That is the properties of this particular thermal radiations. Okay.